How's it going, guys? Welcome back to the Pilot Patriot channel. Now, as much as we'd like to, most of us don't have some big armored bug out vehicle that can traverse any terrain. Most of us have to make do with our daily drivers, but there are some things you can do to your vehicle that can help keep you moving and make sure you never end up stranded. So in this video, we're going to be talking about the top 5 emergency and survival modifications that you can make to your vehicle. All right, guys, now we're going to be talking about the top 5 modifications you can make to your vehicle to make sure you can keep moving, not just in everyday situations, but in emergency situations as well. Now, I've thought a lot about this, and I'm going to try to put these in order of what I think their priority is, with the most important being at the end, so make sure you stick around for that. Now, as always, I'm going to have links in the description below for all the products we're talking about today, so you can outfit your own vehicle, so make sure you check that out. Now, before we get into it, if you haven't done it yet, guys, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below, hit that notification bell, and give us a thumbs up. The first modification we're going to talk about is upgrading your bumpers. Now, not only is a big heavy-duty bumper going to help protect your vehicle from animals and car accidents and things like that, it's also going to give you a lot more capability, from adding additional lighting to being able to actually push objects that are blocking your way out of the way. And it's also going to give you a lot more capability when it comes to recovery. If you were to get your vehicle stuck, a bumper like this one is going to have the ability to include a winch as well as tow shackles. Now, the bumper I have here is the Stealth bumper from Road Armor. You can see it has cutouts for 4 fog lights as well as a mounting location for a light bar here, so you can add a lot of additional lighting. The fog lights that I have in here right now are the rigid D-series lights. You have shackles on both sides that you can use for recovery if you need to get pulled out of a tough spot, as well as a spot to mount your winch. So I have a 12,000-pound winch from Road Armor. So if you find yourself in a situation where your vehicle gets stuck or you need to pull somebody else out of a stuck spot, you'll be able to do that. Now, right along with that, I have the Stealth rear bumper from Road Armor as well. With all the same benefits, it's going to give you a spot to mount some reverse lights. You have shackles here on either side, and of course, it's going to add that extra level of protection from accidents and help make sure your truck stays on the road even after a little fender bender. Next is going to be your tires. Now, I definitely recommend you get some type of all-terrain tire. Now, I don't necessarily mean you have to get some big super swamper mud tires, but something that's got a little tread to it, something with a little more off-road capability if you find yourself going off the pavement, whether it be dirt, mud, rocks, snow, whatever. A good all-terrain tire is definitely going to help you out there. You could also consider going up on the size of your tires to help give you a little more ground clearance and, again, a little more off-road capability. The tires that I have here are the 35-inch Nitto Ridge Grapplers. I think this is a good all-around tire. They've lasted me a good long while, and they are pretty aggressive without being so aggressive that they compromise your comfort and your ride quality. Now, along those same lines is going to be your suspension. Now, the suspension that comes on most vehicles is going to be okay as long as you stay on the pavement. But we're talking about being prepared for any situation, an emergency situation. So that means you need to be ready to go off-road if you need to. Now, I have the Ford F-250, and there is no better suspension out there for Ford than Carli. So what I have here is the Carli Backcountry 3-inch suspension system. This is going to come with Fox shocks and gas reservoir, custom tuned for the F-250 by Carli, and leveling coils to level out the front of the truck and give a little more clearance here up front. And this backcountry system is just going to give you so much more capability off-road for going over rocks and bumps and stuff like that. But it also improves the overall ride quality on and off-road. It just offers a lot more travel, so you don't find your suspension bottoming out in certain situations. I had mine installed by NCB Diesel and Off-Road. I will link to some of their social pages in the description below. These guys did an awesome job. They were super knowledgeable, helping me figure out what system I needed for my truck. And while they are pretty local to me, they also service customers all around the country, so make sure you check them out. The next modification I want to recommend to you guys is having some type of onboard air system. Now, I'm sure we've all found ourselves in a situation where we had a low or flat tire. Now, most of the time that means you're going to end up having to change a tire or try to get to somewhere where you can add air, or you end up having to use something like Fix-A-Flat. So having an onboard air system can help quickly get that tire reinflated and get you back on the road. There are a lot of other situations where having onboard air could come in handy. if you end up having to do any type of off-road driving, usually letting a little bit of air out of your tires can help give you extra traction and things like that. But the problem with deflating your tires is eventually you're going to have to re-inflate them as well. So having onboard air makes that quick and easy. And depending on the system you go with, having onboard air can give you the capability of using air tools anywhere that your vehicle is. And also, if you do end up having to change a flat tire, having onboard air will give you the ability to use air tools to quickly and easily change out those tires. So the system I have is the Air Expedition series. This is a great onboard air system. It comes with a compressor and a 2-gallon air tank. So I have that 2 gallons of air on standby, but this compressor also has the ability to run nonstop for an hour. So if you needed to put air in all 4 of your tires and some trailer tires, you'd have that ability. I have mine mounted up under the body of my truck, and I can turn it on and off through the upfitter switches in my truck. And I have an air line routed here to my back bumper. So all I need to do if I need to inflate a tire or use the air system for anything is pull out my 30-foot hose and inflation tool provided by Air, and then I just hook in here at the back and I am good to go. I also have airlift airbags on my trucks, so I can raise and lower my truck to level it out when I'm towing heavy stuff. And I have the air lines for those airbags routed right here inside my gas door. So if I hook up to a heavy trailer and I need to raise or lower my truck to level it out, all I have to do is hook in to my air system there at the back bumper. Then I can quickly and easily inflate those airbags from right here. And finally, last, and what I think could be the most important modification you could do to your vehicle to help keep you on the road, especially in emergency situations, is a larger fuel tank. Now the F-250 already comes with a pretty good sized fuel tank. It comes with a 35-gallon tank, but at the same time, you're not getting great gas mileage in a big truck like this. But really, no matter what size fuel tank you have, if you can't get to a gas station, or if you're in some type of emergency where gas stations no longer have gas available, you're stuck with whatever's in your truck or whatever you have stored. Now you can keep extra 5-gallon gas cans on hand all you want to, and I have done a really good video on the best way to store gasoline long term. So if you haven't seen that, I'll put a link to that right here at the top of the screen. But without a doubt, the absolute best way to store fuel for your vehicle is in the tank. So for my truck, I had an aftermarket fuel tank put on to give me some more capacity. And what I ended up with is the 58-gallon gas tank from Transfer Flow. Transfer Flow has always made great aftermarket fuel tanks for diesel vehicles, but now they've started making them for gas vehicles as well. There is no worse feeling than finding yourself out on the road in the middle of nowhere and you look at that gas needle and it's almost at E. And even worse than that is actually running out of fuel. Now, as a general rule, I recommend you always keep at least a quarter tank of fuel in your vehicle, but we all know that sometimes it happens. That little fuel light comes on and we're in a mad rush to find a gas station. So by going from 35 gallons to 58 gallons, I almost doubled my fuel capacity. And even on this gas guzzling F-250, I can go 600 miles before I need to refuel. That means less stops on long trips, or worst case scenario, you find yourself again in an emergency where gas just isn't available. Having that extra large gas tank could mean an extra week of driving your truck when nobody else can. The Transfer Flow is a direct replacement for your stock gas tank. I didn't have to do any modifications to my truck to make it fit. I had mine installed by the guys over at NCB Diesel and Off-Road. Again, it's the same guys that installed my suspension system for me. Those guys do a great job. And again, I will link to their website and social pages down below. Now, having a large fuel tank does mean you're going to spend more money when you have to fill up, but you're going to have to do that a lot less often. And for the purposes of preparedness and having as much fuel as you can on hand, there really is no better option. All right, guys, that is our 5 survival vehicle modifications to help your vehicle be more prepared for any situation. Just to recap, we talked about upgraded heavy-duty bumpers to help protect your vehicle and to aid in recovery. We talked about tires and suspension to make sure you can go on any terrain you need to go on. An onboard air system to make sure you can easily inflate tires, change tires, use air tools, and all that. And finally, a larger aftermarket fuel tank so you can have extra fuel capacity to get you twice as far down the road and twice as long before you have to fill up, and to make sure you're not going to be the one panicking in an emergency situation where fuel isn't available. Now, if there's anything that I left off or anything you guys think is more important, make sure you let me know in the comment section below. I'd love your input. And don't forget, I will have links for all the products we talked about linked in the description below if you want to get them for yourself. Thanks for watching, guys. Please like, share, and subscribe, and stay prepared.